you don't know who I am? Maybe if I had horns and a pitchfork, I would be more recognizable. This isn't what you thought I would look like. Well, this isn't what I really look like. When I come up to the surface, I like to keep a low profile, blend in with the crowd. After all, I'm here strictly for business. You understand? Great. Let's get down to business then. You've come down here to the crossroads to make a little transaction, haven't you? You want to become the world's greatest fiddle player, and I can do that for you with just a snap of my fingers. But I will need something in exchange. That's right, your soul. Yeah, no big deal, right? What does a soul do for you anyways? It's useless. It just rattles around in there, taking up space, like an appendix. I bet you won't even notice it's gone. Oh yes, I can make all your dreams come true. You'll be a living legend. People will come from afar just to hear you play, and you'll be able to play any type of music there is. Country, blues, classical, R&B, soul. Maybe not that last one. But either way, let's get down to business. Did you bring your fiddle with you? Great. Why don't you play it for me then? I want to see what I'm working with over here. Oh wow, that wasn't very good at all. Looks like I've got my work cut out for me. How long have you been playing this instrument, boy? Doesn't seem like you've had much practice. Oh, you don't have time to practice. You're a busy guy. People these days don't have any patience. You'd think you'd at least try taking a few lessons before resorting to a deal with the devil. No time for lessons. Okay. Well, let me ask you. Have you maybe considered trying another instrument? Maybe there's something you have more of a natural talent with. No, I'm not trying to discourage you. It's just that fiddle ain't for everyone. Besides, it's also kind of an old-fashioned instrument, isn't it? You don't hear many songs these days with fiddle on them. Are you sure you wouldn't rather trade your soul to become the world's greatest DJ? All right. Fiddle it is then. Let's roll with it. Let me just bring out some paperwork. Oh, you didn't expect a document? Well, I just want to get everything in writing. Yes, I've dealt with humans for millennia, and I know how fickle you all can be. You come back a year later crying, No, I've changed my mind. I want my soul back. I never made any deal. Well, call me an old-fashioned guy, but I just like to have everything down in ink and paper. That way, we can avoid any misunderstandings. It's just a basic legal document. A receipt, really. You purchased limitless musical talent, and you paid for it with one human soul. All sales are final. Yes, you'll need to initial this page right here, and then sign on the line, and write the date over here. Yes. But first, I do want to be completely transparent with you. This exchange you're making here, you're not the first human to do this. There is some precedent for this kind of transaction. Have you ever heard of Paganini? Oh my lord, you play the fiddle and you never heard of Paganini? Did you just pick this thing up yesterday? Well, let me tell you a little story. A long time ago, there was a man named Paganini. He was a violin virtuoso. With just his fingers and 4 strings, he could bring anyone within earshot to a state of complete ecstasy. He played with a passion that no one had ever heard before, and people traveled from far and wide just to hear him perform. It wasn't long before the jealous whispers began. Legend had it that his talent was unnatural, that he had sold his soul to the devil in exchange for virtuosity. Now, I'm a strong believer in client confidentiality, so I can neither confirm nor deny these claims. But let me tell you about Paganini's life after his rise to fame. He toured the world relentlessly, always exhausted, never able to put down roots. Eventually, he died at the age of 28 of syphilis. Nasty way to go. Let me tell you another story, boy. You ever heard of a man named Robert Johnson? You don't know who that is either. Oh my lord. I guess they didn't teach you about that one in the conservatory, did they? Well, let me tell you about old Robert Johnson. Greatest bluesman there ever was. Also rumored to have walked on down to the crossroads and make that same Faustian Pact. Same as before. I can neither confirm nor deny. But in either case, he could play a mean guitar. So what was his life like? Was he showered with adoration? Not at all. He spent his life hopping trains, slumming around the South, playing to anyone who would listen. He died broke and penniless, and all that's left of him now is a single grainy black and white photograph. How about one more story, son? You ever heard of a little man called Jimi Hendrix? Great, finally someone you've heard of. I'm glad we could find some common ground. Well, as you may know, the same rumors about selling his soul surrounded poor old Jimmy as well. He sure did play a mean guitar though, didn't he? But we all know how that story ended. Now, I can see that you're a person who's not overburdened by intelligence, but I hope that you're sensing a pattern here. Do you see what I'm getting at? Yes, being a master of your instrument isn't exactly synonymous with a happy ending. In fact, if I was feeling poetic, I'd say that the whole idea of a Faustian Pact is a kind of metaphor, for how fame and fortune erodes your humanity and leaves you a hollow shell of a man. But I'm not feeling poetic. I just want to set some realistic expectations for you before you sign your soul away. So you still want to go through with this, huh? I see. It'll be different for you. You'll be the outlier. Well, that's great news. Anyways, now that we have an understanding, won't you please sign on the line? Great. And initial over here and here. And just write today's date over here. Great. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. That's it. We're all done. How do you feel? A bit lighter. Well, that's to be expected. Well, I'll leave you to your fame and fortune then. It's been a pleasure making your acquaintance. I'll be watching your career with great interest.